Not only are they showing a fucking Invincible game, and I missed most of it because of that shit. Oh my god, now I have to fucking tweet this shit out every other way I can.
Throw you off this planet for good.
Okay, full screen. Because Jesus Christ.
I trusted you.
It's a fighting game? Kinda wish it wasn't. Nah, no, that's still great. That's probably the right choice. Okay, now I need to go link my stream everywhere. I'm gonna re-examine the shit on here that I missed in a bit, don't worry. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, you like this? It's an army.
I am ending you. I see it all now.
I don't, by the way, so just to be clear, I don't know what happened. Genuinely don't know what the fuck happened. Like, I was just, it wasn't like the normal kind of crash. Hey, look, they're finally porting it. There you go. It wasn't like a normal kind of crash. Don't worry, we will be going back a little later in the stream and we'll be looking at the stuff that well, I mean, we were already gonna go back and examine the shit out of the P4 thing anyway, but like still. Revival's not the right name for it, to be honest, unfortunately. But also, they're doing an Invincible fighting game, that's cool.
Any objections?
Hey, they're also porting 16, cool. Was it, wait, was it not already, wait, was it not right there?
There's no one to save him now.
Ah, shit, 1 second. Get it live. Okay, now I need to get my TV one ahead.
Valencia cannot endure a second claim upon her being, but she may yet be saved by you.
Trying to get this synced up. I think I nailed it. Okay, I got it.
World premiere.
But like, yeah, so just to be clear, as far as this VOD goes, like, I was watching it and then all of a sudden, it wasn't even like a normal OBS crash. It was like, it said like I screamed and I started freaking out and then I looked and it said no data. And then I looked at OBS and it was like, yeah, you don't have any sound anymore. OBS is frozen. And it was like, I cannot express like the level of anger and hatred I felt inside my body when I saw that happen. Like that was, I cannot express to, oh god, I just realized social stream is not rigged up to the right thing. I'm so sorry. 2 of 2, there we go. There. Okay. Now we're fixed. So genuinely aggravating. And then for them to announce a fucking Invincible game, which I should have been freaking out about, instead of freaking out about the fact that, like, you know, I wasn't fucking live anymore. Oh my god, OBS, I don't... And the worst thing is, if it had been like the last time I had a screen crash, I actually realized a way to fix it. And I would have done it, and I would have done that this time. But for whatever fucking reason, this time it was a
Games
different
like
kind of
Psychonauts
freeze.
2 showed how Double Fine
Phil, what
excels
happened
at
to you?
creating unique and innovative experiences, and Keeper is no exception. Looking
He's so
ahead,
small.
next year marks 25 years of Xbox. It's a big milestone for the platform and franchises that you helped build and make popular. We couldn't have done this without everyone who's been with us on this journey.
So yeah,
As
don't
we
worry,
think
we're gonna
about bringing a new
we're both gonna go look
generation
at that
of players to
Invincible
these
trailer
iconic
afterwards and
franchises,
Persona.
I'm excited
Don't worry.
to share that
I want to get real
players
reactions to
will
that, but
get
also it's a fighting game. I didn't see that coming.
25 years of Xbox.
Robert Kirkman
with a
said they were
new
making an
Fable,
Invincible game,
the
but I
next
didn't think it'd be a
Forza,
fighting game.
Gears of War E-Day,
But honestly, it's probably
and
a good
the return
choice.
of a classic that's been with us since the beginning. Today,
Oh, yeah?
you've seen an incredible range of games from creators across the globe. Creators like In Exile, reaching for new heights with Clockwork Revolution. Sluggerfly, making Team
Are we
Meat's
ending the show
modern
right now, by the way?
classic platformer into 3D.
If this thing crashed right at the
Square
end,
Enix,
I'm actually gonna be so
bringing
mad.
more of the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy franchise.
The fact
to
that I had
our
to sit there and
players.
figure all that and
Team
then
Ninja
reset all that shit, like,
returning to
so-
the
it's so
beloved series
infuriating.
they debuted on Xbox. You've also seen the next Xbox hardware release, our Xbox Ally
You're actually
handheld,
calling it next.
which
I
lets
mean,
you
I guess
bring
it's not an
your
inaccurate way to
Xbox
describe it. Next
experience
Xbox
and your
hardware.
library with you anywhere. I hope
not
you
inaccurate.
enjoyed the breadth and depth of the games, updates, and experiences that are coming to Xbox from our partners and our own creative teams.
Phil is
We're
so much
seeing
thinner.
more players on our
And I
platform
don't mean
and
in
our
a good
games
way.
than ever.
Like, he looks like
Thanks to
he's
all of
been
you.
dying.
We're proud
of
of the
stress.
creativity that Obsidian is delivering this year. Immediately after Showcase, our Direct begins, where you'll go inside the studio for an extended look at the Outer Worlds 2 and Grounded 2.
You
Thanks
guys
for
should
joining
really
us
not have
today.
advertised that
But
as
before we
a.
get into the Direct,
as a
we have
Direct.
final world premiere. Enjoy.
You guys really should not have advertised that as a Outer Worlds 2 Direct if you had another thing to stuck in there that's not for the same type of audience.
Premiere.
That was a really stupid idea, especially to not tell people that until the day of. Those games are for totally different audiences. The audiences of those games have no bleed over. That's the problem.
Welcome to
People
the
that like
guild.
Obsidian games are not
We have been
there for
expecting
Grounded. You cannot assume that
Please.
everybody's there for that.
Follow me.
What are we doing?
You already know us as a global tech leader.
Do we?
Our software,
Do I?
our systems, combined with our skilled team, is designed to save lives.
This feels like it's going to lead into a
Your
bit.
years of service have shown you the importance of our work. Here, you'll witness the global scope of
That's
that
a
mission
man's.
in action.
I gotta shave. I should have shaved before this, but to be honest, it was just one of those things of like, it's just not happening because like I gotta get in there.
For too long, we have been bound by outdated systems, accepting limitations instead of redefining them.
Why are
The
you
Guild
telling me
is
that there's no one
safeguarding
looking
tomorrow
at
now.
the footage
We are
when I'm staring
pioneering
at
the
it?
future of protection worldwide. Our advancements are designed to elevate everyday life, reshaping the future of technology.
Oh wait, I should probably check the sound. Okay, we're good. The Guild? Oh yeah, what is this? Are you bringing a franchise back? Whoa. What is this? Is this a return of a thing? It's pretty trippy, whatever it is. I'm kind of in. I think I might be in. Sell me a little hard. What is this? What is this? I think it's a revival of a franchise. Oh, there's that word again.
Fear is a powerful thing.
Guillermo del Toro!
David Mason.
I know that voice. You're losing me. I can't believe I was actually interested. That's funny. I can't believe you tricked me for a bit into thinking I had a reason to give a shit. Oh my god. That's funny. They cooked a good trailer that actually tricked me for a minute into thinking this was something that was gonna have sauce. Damn. Like, Call of Duty, you're not gonna put half of those cool visuals in there. God damn. Also, didn't they just drop Black Ops 6? They're going straight to 7? Don't they usually do like a weird rotational thing? Also, wow, we're going straight into that direct, huh? You really had your final big reveal of the show be Call of Duty? What do you think, because it's your biggest franchise that like, it's like a big surprise? No, Call of Duty's not a big surprise. Everybody who plays Call of Duty isn't watching the show.
Around that this has been the year of Obsidian, with Avowed releasing early
They're
this
like,
year, and now ending the year with 2 more games.
They're like either playing Call of Duty or at work.
For us than by doing what our studio does best.
There's no in between there. That's not a big reveal. That's why you drop Call of Duty at the beginning of a showcase. Hi, Ben Schwartz.
Blood of every great franchise. Think about it.
Play a party member in
The
it?
original creates the world and builds fandom, but the sequel, that's what makes it worth remembering. No sequel, no hoverboard. No sequel, no dual SMGs. No sequel, no raccoon tail. No sequel, no Zune 2. Which doesn't really exist, but I wish it had.
There was a Zune 2.
There was a Zune 2? I'm Mark, the head of sequels here at Obsidian, and I have sequelized everything. Blockbuster movies to AAA video games to my first marriage, so trust me, I know what I'm doing. Come along this journey with me. Part 2.
Head of sequels.
Let the killing commence.
I'm gonna be super real. If the way this thing is structured is we're gonna do Outer Worlds 2 at the beginning and then we're gonna do Grounded after, I'm just gonna tune the fuck out. Like, I'm actually just gonna leave. They would be very smart to blend them together because otherwise I'm just going to leave after. They should not have put this one up front. Do you think Grounded was the bigger draw? Who am I kidding? It might be.
The Outer Worlds 1. It's a continuation of the themes of robber barons in space and how people are controlled by the stories they're told by the people who have power over them. This time we're able to go a lot deeper because we have more time and money, which is a great thing. And
That's
we're able to make it a much more true Obsidian reactive RPG than we were the first time around.
Triple barrel shotgun.
So we're going deeper and more complex with everything for this sequel. Deeper story, lore, RPG interactions, reactivity, all the things we've been known for as a company.
Yeah,
It's really a complete
do those.
realization
I like
of
those
everything
things.
people want from an Obsidian game. Surprisingly, this is the first time in over 25 years that I've had the chance to do a full sequel for a world that I helped co-create. It's really just a fantastic
Bring back Sam, let him be on the team, and let him have literally anything this time. Such a missed opportunity.
Dystopian corporate reality.
You can shoot your way through it, you can talk your way through it, you can sneak your way through it. And so no matter what kind of play style that you like, this is just an awesome franchise and an awesome game to jump into, even if it's your first one.
The first Outer Worlds was a great base to start from, as it has all the elements of a great Obsidian RPG. Interesting characters, deep worlds, important choices. In the Outer Worlds 2, not only did we want to double down on those elements, but we wanted to give players even more of it.
We've also put a lot of investment into skills and traits that impact things like combat, conversations, and areas that we call RPG interactions.
Yeah.
Which are the part of the
Those are
world
good.
where players can use their specific skills, perks, and backgrounds to solve problems
good.
in unique ways.
Oh, that's
in our
good.
New, bigger worlds.
That's good. That's awesome.
I love a deep RPG experience, and building out
That's
that RPG
awesome.
crunchiness
That's
for
great.
our players was at the forefront of what we set out to create. We prioritize those deeper RPG options with different character builds and combos so players can express their role-playing power fantasies. We also have different equipment options for different playstyles.
Oh, that's good.
And different companions with different abilities.
Is that little robot? Oh, there's like a little drone type companion. I like that. Please let him have dialogue.
In the first Outer Worlds, you start off as the Stranger, which was basically a blank slate to build on top of with various attribute points that would begin to define your personal experience in the game. You can make any kind of character you want, but we've given you a role. That role is an Earth Directorate agent. You can think of them as kind of like space cowboys or space sky marshals.
Okay.
They're the
I
good
can
guys
dig
that
that.
go into places and kind of fix everything that's wrong. You're going to be one of those, but we don't tell you why you joined the Art Directorate. There could have been a lot of different reasons, right? It could have been because you're an actual lawbringer and you want to go in there and spread law throughout the galaxy. It could be that you're a roustabout and you just had nothing better to do. After you pick your background, one of the really important choices you have next is choosing your traits. While we had attributes in the first Outer Worlds, we've leaned into traits for the Outer Worlds too, which are these big changes to your character depending on which ones you pick. So it could be something like Brilliant, where you can tag extra skills and you start getting extra skill points. And
that's not
really
optional.
great if that's how you want to build your character. You can also go and do something like
That's
Lucky,
literally
where you
not
get extra
optional.
Critical chance, and you also get a lot
I hope
of
you
really
can
cool
pick one
options
more than
throughout the
one
game as
of
well.
those, because literally no one's ever going to pick another one.
Dumb. So players
Good.
love the dumb option.
Tell me, do you believe in signs?
Dumb.
Not quite what I meant, but I like your contempt for boundaries. I could put your adventure spirit to good use.
And you get like lots of really cool, fun conversation options in the game, but we took that even further. And again, there's lots of elements in the game where you can be dumb and use that for something. Could be something as simple as banging on a machine to get it to work.
Wow.
After you've invested in some of your traits, your next choices are going to be choosing your skills. The skills themselves basically allow you to build on your playstyle and what your character is doing in the game. That will be everything from playing stealthily to speccing for an explosive specialty.
All right. Yeah, get that Batman explosive gel out.
Throughout your entire journey, your character
Alfred,
continues
where
to
did it
change
go?
with the different
My
choices you
explosive
make.
gel.
In the Outer Worlds
I'm
1,
not sure,
we actually
sir.
had more skills than we have, so we condensed them down to really the core and essence of what we really wanted there. But we made each point that you put into a skill much more impactful. So instead of getting small percentage changes, we actually did much larger changes per point that you put into each skill. And again, all these things, because of how they're checked inside the world itself, can matter quite a bit. You know, just even having one additional skill point in something can open up a lot more options in the world itself.
Gun.
If anybody's played
Head
Fallout New
opposite
Vegas,
direction,
they'll be
not
very familiar with
towards
like the
gun.
perk
That's
system.
stupid.
We basically borrowed that, but went even grander. We actually have more perks than Fallout New Vegas did. But here's the cool thing, right? We check and use perks for literally everything, right? So you can do everything from, hey, I want to make a stealthy build that steals stuff and is really good at that. Okay, great. Well, you can take maybe the pickpocketing perk. So that's not available to everybody, but if you select that, now you can actually go around and steal things out of people's pockets. There's another perk called Heavy Handed, right? Where say you're a melee person, what this does is now your power attacks that you use actually knock people down.
Oh man, I really like the serial killer perk. As you start killing people, they will drop hearts. And you can take those hearts, and essentially you're taking these trophies, you could say, and it's actually giving you a permanent health bonus every time you do it. We have this perk called Assassin. Now, this is an early game perk that you can take, which every time you stealth attack an enemy, you're actually gonna get a movement bonus for a certain amount of time.
I've already loaded up an interview or a developer message / announcement for Persona 4 Revival. Did they give a release date? Because I didn't
a
see it.
system
if
that
they did.
everybody loved from the first game, but we wanted to make it more personal to the player. We wanted it to really reflect how you were playing the game and give you a bonus that you actually wanted to
They didn't give us a release date on that.
With the flaw system returning, we
Really?
knew we needed to go bigger, better, and more real than ever before. So, we turned to the team. I told them, no bad ideas. Give me what you got. Okay, we need more flaws. We need them to be real. I want to put them in the game, so give me something. Inspiration. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I have bad knees.
You got bad knees? They hurt when you walk a lot?
Yes.
When you walk too much, they hurt?
No cartilage.
Sounds boring. Makes you sound like a boring person, but it's in the game.
I know it.
It's a good flaw. What about you?
I like to take small things sometimes.
So you're stealing?
No, I'm taking.
When do you give them back?
I don't.
Claire. Claire, you shouldn't be stealing. What are you doing? You shouldn't be stealing, Claire.
Tiny crimes.
Tiny crimes? Do you hear the second part, though? It's a crime.
Well,
You're stealing. Claire, that's wrong. You can't steal things, okay? but it's an amazing flaw, and I'm putting it in the game. But you're a bad person. And are you the one that took my state player?
Do you need it?
Yeah. Give it back.
Okay.
Please. You, what do we got? Flaw.
I like to stare at the sun.
How long did you stare at the sun?
Just lunch break.
An hour?
Oh,
That's a long
I only
time.
get 30. You guys get an hour?
I get an hour. An hour.
Oh. Makes you feel energized.
How many fingers am I holding up?
3?
No. Anything else? We'll put it in the game. We'll put it in the game because I feel bad for you. Anything else?
One of my favorite flaws is something called bad knees. It will actually give you the option to take this flaw that'll make it so that you move faster throughout the game. But the problem is, anytime you stand up, your knees are going to make a loud popping noise that makes it so that, well, everyone around you is going to hear you.
There's one called Kleptomaniac. This is really interesting because what it does is when you steal something, you can actually sell it for more bits than normal. And like that sounds really great. The drawback is sometimes when you're looking at things in the world that are owned by somebody else, you'll automatically steal them. So you have to be very careful about how you use them.
One of our more wacky perks
That's
is
funny.
the sun gazer flaw,
Automatic
and
theft.
it just gives everyone cataracts while playing their game. So everything becomes like light shafts and blooms and hazes, and makes the game pretty unplayable if you happen to choose that perk.
That's funny.
If you happen to be the type of player that habitually reloads your weapons like I do,
Oh,
you'll be
yeah?
offered the flaw of over-prepared. Now, you'll get larger magazine sizes on all of your weapons, but if you ever fully empty your magazine, you're going to take a debuff for a while.
You're gonna debuff if you don't reload it too early? Well, that's great for me.
Destructive weapons, or a rogue who wants to alpha strike their enemies before they know what hit them. We also allow for a lot of fun and experimental builds. You can be a mad scientist who utilizes gadgets and wacky science weapons and armors.
Wow.
Or even a psychopath who gains permanent bonuses to health by murdering their friends.
Nothing shows the impact of these character build options better than, in my opinion, the bridge area, which has a quest you get early on in Paradise Island.
Outer Worlds
Not only
1's
do you
biggest
kind of
problem
encounter
was the
this very
best
early
stuff
and
was
it's a very
earlier in the
core
game.
one to the story.
So I guess
But it
I
really
just hope
expresses our
that like
philosophy of allowing the player to solve problems
this game
in a
has a better
bunch of
cadence of
ways.
great stuff all the way through. Because there is certainly
So you
an
may
element
solve it
of
by,
Outer Worlds 1
speech
kind of
options. You
petering
may
a
talk
bit,
to
you know?
them and maybe have to go do a quest for them and really kind of prove that you're a friend of the Protectorate to
Be
get
playing
by.
this on the channel, by the way. It's
need of your
fairly
help,
because it's not
stranger.
obvious.
If you are ready to seize an opportunity to show fealty to the Protectorate.
You could go guns blazing and you could just take everyone out inside the POI, lower the bridge itself, and kind of get across. You could sneak in, lower the bridge, and then actually sneak in under the bridge to get over to the other side. You can bypass the bridge entirely if you found like certain gadgets, like the shield gadget that protects you from poison gas as you go across, or the double jump boots, which kind of allow you to jump across the chasm and get across that way. There's even a really kind of messed up way, right? Which is players can actually sacrifice one of their companions. Their companion who they just found is part of.
We're no different than the Breeze if we start tossing our own to the rats. I sure as law ain't gonna follow someone who can't see the wrong in it.
I must admit, I'm surprised we could come to an understanding. But I thank you for your loyalty, stranger. As promised, you shall have clearance to cross this bridge.
It's such a fun quest, but again, it really showcases that we want you to be able to solve this in whatever way you want to. When you build your character your way, we're there for you. We really want you to have the experience that you want to have out of this.
That's pretty great.
From the very beginning of our discussions about the Outer Worlds, we really knew we wanted every game to take place in a different colony. This lets us expand on all aspects of the universe. Every colony can be its own thing with its own flavor, and we can center them around anything we want. Any ideas or setting we're interested in. Arcadia is an isolated colony with abundant resources, and it's run by an authoritarian faction called the Protectorate. Their dictatorship is thematically based around the question of how much freedom people will give up for security and luxury. For Protectorate subjects, unfortunately, that answer is everything. The Protectorate is also incredibly wealthy because it was founded by the inventor of the skip drives, which are the Outer World's faster-than-light engines. But those skip drives are starting to cause rifts in space-time, which are cutting off all the other colonies on Earth from being able to trade with each other. The Order of the Ascendant is an offshoot of the Order of Scientific Inquiry from the original game.
And by the way, thank God Atlas isn't pretending P4 isn't coming to PS5 this time.
Universal equation, which will allow them to predict and alter the future to the benefit
Well,
of
they're
all
not
mankind.
saying PS4 as
They
well
used to
for
be part of
that.
the
Interesting.
Protectorate, but they split off to focus on
PS5
solving
only.
the equation for the good of
For remake.
everyone, not
For
as a way
revival.
to simply control the masses.
Interesting.
The player's been sent
It's
to
about that
Arcadia
time.
as an Earth Directorate agent to find out how the skip drives are causing the rifts and what can be done to stop them. Each of the factions have their own solutions to the rift problem and their own goals. The Protectorate wants to close them to protect their legacy as the inventor of the drives and their wealth. The Order wants to close them not only for the good of everyone, but also because they're complicating the math they're using to solve the universal equation. And Antes just wants to be able to open and close them at will to control all the trade routes between the colonies. In addition to expanding the themes and lore of the Outer Worlds, we're also expanding the humor, so each faction has its own flavor of absurdity. Anti's Choice is a merger between Anti-Cleo and Spacer's Choice from the original game, and there are corporate representatives in the Outer Worlds too. They've invaded Arcadia to liberate their resources for all of humanity, at a profit, of course.
One of my favorite things from Fallout New Vegas is the radio system. It was just iconic for me, and I wanted to make sure that the Outer Worlds 2 had that. So we actually built out 3 different radio stations, one for each of the major factions.
Okay.
You also have a ton of music. Each station might have, like, I think 20 tracks of unique music that we've made for it. It's a lot of stuff. But the really cool part about this entire thing is that we actually put a lot of reactivity into the radio. So it will respond to the things that are going on around the world that you've been interacting with. So if you go into a location, let's say you solve a problem for the Protectorate folks, if you listen to the Protectorate radio
what Three Dog
station,
would do.
they're going to be cheering you on as a hero.
Wonderful news, everyone. The Zeranium gas leaks at the Automech repair facility, strongly believed to be caused by Anti's Choice malefactors, have been corrected.
Some hotshot for hire just managed to fix the electrum leak in their repair facility. Now, I'm not saying we caused it in the first place, but we sure like the idea of all those broken auto mechanicals and all the excessive gasping and choking involved.
The factions and companions are great examples of how we're going deeper and more complex this time around.
I thought that was the best part of the game last time.
Much more than we did on the first Outer Worlds. And like
Yeah,
with
last time
everything
that
else
was
in
the best
game,
thing about
they have
it,
a lot
so.
more reactivity. There are 6 companions in the Outer Worlds too. As usual, each has
Please
their own
let Sam
quest
be one of
lines,
them. Don't
but
waste
this
all that
time they are
opportunity.
also connected to a different faction and have character arcs that the player can affect through their choices. Your first companion is Niles. He's another Earth Directorate agent like you, and he's looking for your help to decide whether he wants to become an even better agent or to turn his back on the Earth Directorate completely. There's also a somewhat cute Automech support drone that is basically Niles' helper. Her name is Val.
That's good.
Marisol's part of the Order of the Ascendant, and she's an aging but still deadly assassin. That's right, she's a deadly mathematician who may or may not have some unfinished business to attend to with the player's help.
I'm
There's
sure
also
they
Cultist named
must.
Azza, who is part of a sub-faction that worships the rifts, and in
Hey
her case,
there.
violence in general. You can choose to either turn her away from overt violence or support her chaotic and dangerous tendencies. At one time, Anti's Choice had a program to graft soldiers with animal parts to make them more formidable. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work, and most of them are now dead. There's a combat medic who survived, however, named Inez, and she wants the player to help her fix her graft.
Survived
among
seems
other
like
things.
one way to put it.
Finally, there's Tristan. He's a Protectorate arbiter who is judge, jury, and executioner all rolled into one heavily armored package.
Okay.
It is your choice to either help him judge wrongdoers or show him what true justice looks like.
We definitely have reactivity in the game based on how you've been treating your companions. I won't reveal the end of the game, but let's say if you have not been treating them well, you will find out at the end of the game what that means.
Oh, yeah?
Companions are
That's
a
interesting.
very, very important part of merchandising, because that's the real beauty of the sequel. We're talking merch, baby. It is the lifeblood. It is what fuels us. Do you want to see some of my ideas? Hop, hop. Check this out. Gen Alpha loves body pillows, especially ones that look like human beings for some reason, right? Who needs a significant other when you could have a knife-wielding space psycho up in your sheets, huh? What do they do with them when they get them, huh? Maybe a little napping, maybe a little snuggling, maybe a little nut.
I thought he said nut for a second.
The visuals of the first Outer Worlds depicted a frontier colony in space. The Outer Worlds 2 is driven by an invasion of the Arcadia colony system by Auntie's Choice, which shifts the visuals to be more reminiscent of a World War I-like setting in
Oh
space.
man, I'm gonna have such a good time with
That evolution
this.
is seen across all aspects of the game, starting with the factions. How do you militarize everything, including extreme capitalists or math-crazed scientists? In a World War I setting, war comes with propaganda. The Sovereign uses it to maintain control. Auntie's Choice uses it to help their bottom line. The Order just wants to show how it exists within the grand plan. We want players to feel like Arcadia is a living, breathing place scarred by a long-standing war. Fairfield, one of the first towns you encounter, was once under protectorate control, but has recently been taken over by Auntie's Choice. They don't just occupy the town, they rebrand it with their signature style, repainting buildings, posting guards, and adding propaganda-based holograms featuring Auntie and the Moon Man. Showing the towns evolving after the invasion helps us push immersion for our players. One of our priorities in visually realizing the world of the Outer Worlds 2 was making sure everything is clear and recognizable from the player standpoint. We want to make sure each faction has a particular look and design. So when the player is running across these vast, different environments and landscapes, they're recognizing the motifs and visuals of who they're talking to, what they're going to be talking about, and how that progresses throughout the story.
That's awesome.
The first Outer Worlds was really about the player interfacing with corporations. And while we have that in the Outer Worlds 2, we really want to express not just the corporations, but how the player interacts with other facets of the world, like government entities or religious structures. And then we elaborate on those.
With larger environments, we wanted to encourage exploration by improving player mobility across the board. Now you can run, slide, double jump, mantle, and parkour your way through all of the nooks and crannies of these worlds. It really allows the player to just explore and have fun finding really cool stuff.
And how good are the companions at keeping up with you while you're doing all this parkouring around? Because that could easily be an issue.
Everything in the Outer Worlds 2 better from top to bottom. The RPG elements for the start, but that's touched our story, our art, and especially our gameplay. A good sequel is true to the original. That's first and foremost, right? Like, we all want to add in a bunch of things as you're making a sequel, right? We want to make it bigger and better in every way. That's what we were trying to do here.
That's
and
what happens sometimes,
We did not need this consultant. We've made enough sequels. We understand how to do this. And I will say, I don't think it's been entirely successful.
I am very proud of the combat improvements we have made in the Outer Worlds 2, thanks to my patented combat system. You may be thinking to yourself, it can't be that good. Shush, what are you even talking about? You haven't seen it yet. Watch this. Put a helmet on, because I'm about to blow all of your minds with my
Checking Twitter while
system, combat system.
fucking,
My name is Mark, I'm the head of sequels. Shall we begin?
talks.
You're thinking, what's C for? C, capitalize the fact that the people loved the first game.
Mainly to see if there's
We're gonna
anything
take those
going
people,
on with
we're gonna make them buy the
revival.
sequel, giving out
That's been said since then.
pounds. Quick ones, ha ha, not you, Dan. Here we go. What comes after C? O. Optimize for player satisfaction. I am terrified of online gamers, okay? I want to make them happy. So let's, okay? All right. Mobilize the players so they're ready for that sweet pre-order. Clap with me. Sweet. If you don't have rhythm, Brandon, just say it. Sweet pre-order. Everybody has a different rhythm, and it's blowing mine. And here we go. B, burglarize. What is this? It's basically just finding new ways to loot dead bodies. You know what I mean? Right, Otis?
Apparently, Jeff Keighley tweeted out during the show that Silksong would release, quote, later this year, and it will be a launch title for the Xbox handheld console.
Combat into this thing,
wow.
And almost no romance at all. We should look at ourselves. What is wrong with us?
Did it actually say that during?
Have one love story in this? How many people have been in love? Raise your hands. Raise your hand if
It
you're
actually
in
said
love.
that during the handheld thing. Wow, I missed that.
I have a wife.
Put your hand down. T, trois. In French, that means two. Sequel.
I think that means 3.
Okay, you're getting ahead of
Yeah,
yourself.
it means 3.
Come on, Claire. We're on 2. And how do we end it? Anything is possible. And we've established that we're the best there is, and there's no sequel better than us. And if I could just say one more thing. Thank you very much. I know I've kind of changed the world of video games today.
For the Outer Worlds 2, we wanted to improve gunplay in every way. We focused on improving the feel of each weapon, the way a weapon snaps into ADS, the way recoil feels when firing, and how impactful our sound effects really sell the weapon's fantasy.
That's what I want to say.
Things like how a unique reload animation can add a lot of character to each weapon. We've increased the variety of weapons by including new weapon types, but also through a host of fun and unique weaponry. We have things like the Boar Blaster that fires out tumors that can explode like grenades. Or can even be eaten by the player for additional health. We have a weapon called Rookie's Reward that will actually level up the more you use it throughout the game. And if
Is that abnormal?
Up, it's got fun fanfare where it's like shooting out confetti and it's got a fun little setup.
That's awesome.
We have a really fun weapon called the Pop-Up Gun. It fires out ad drones that will distract your enemies with corporate ads, slogans, and jingles. God. While your enemies are distracted, you can focus fire on them or explode these drones for additional damage. New to the Outer Worlds 2 are throwables. So you can use frag grenades to flush out enemies, smoke grenades to camouflage and escape, distraction devices to bait enemies into a stealth attack.
Yeah, well, they actually did say P4R is just
and even
just
science
PS5
grenades that will levitate
and current
enemies, allowing
Xbox.
you to fire upon them while they float helplessly.
Revival's not a good name for it. No, it is. I'll end up liking it before long. I just think I was pretty attached to rerun.
Science weapons are back. We have returning favorites like the Shrink Ray. This time it's been upgraded so you can shrink your enemy down to the size of a sprat and run over them.
Yeah, it didn't used to work like that. It didn't work like that last time.
Shrink
It was
Ray.
great.
That was probably my favorite one from the first game, so we brought it into the second game, but we improved it though. So instead of shrinking your enemies for a short period of time and having them re-expand, this time they stay shrunk, and we actually added in the ability to step on them and kind of squish them and kick them, because we knew that that was the player fantasy. We knew that's what everybody wanted to do. They wanted to step on the enemies, they wanted to kick them, so we made sure to double down on that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It was weird that they couldn't do that before.
In addition
honestly.
to things like our returning favorites,
The
we
entire
also
fantasy
have
of
some
it.
really fun and unique new science weapons. One of them is called the Armageddon.
Oh, it's called Invincible
This one's really
Versus,
cool
by the
because
way.
it actually shoots out these masses that are like these little arms that will stick to people or cover or all kinds of different things, and they will continue to just hit them until they get destroyed.
That's fun. I like that.
And we have another
Apparently,
one
Gears
that's
E-Day
just
was announced
super
for
cool
2026
called the
during that
Spectrum
time span, and I
This
missed
is a
it.
melee weapon that actually lets
Sorry,
you
I was fixing the stream,
attack to
so.
a musical beat. And if you continue to do that, you'll actually get additional bonuses each hit.
Are they not going to bother to get all of the Gears games out on PlayStation before then?
Is called the Big Bang. It's just a big freaking gun that uses material harvested from rifts to shoot out a giant ball of energy, vaporizing everything in its path. Now, ammo's extremely rare for this weapon, but you can use it in just the right situation to devastating effects.
Like another great one is Gary. If you wear Gary, he will lash out at your
Gary.
opponents as you're walking through combat. So we even have science armors, and we've really kind of shown off what we thought was really great for the player from a science perspective.
We're all about letting people play the game their way. There are some players who prefer to be immersed in a first-person view, taking in all of the details. But there are others who really prefer to take the world in from a third-person perspective. Why not allow both? Well, now you can swap between the two, letting you enjoy the experience in whatever way you like.
Third person! Why have you not been showing this the whole
One of the things I really
time?
like about having the third-person mode is being able to see all of the fun and unique armors and armor combinations and weapons.
Bro, come on! Why are you only showing
that
this?
you could do in first person, so you're double jumping around, you get to see your character in that way, and you get to take in the world and see things in a different light.
How are you only showing this at the end of this?
The Outer Worlds 2 is really the biggest game we've ever made.
Lead with that,
More
motherfucker.
choices, more reactivity, more weapons, more
Show
things to find
third-person
in each of the
footage
worlds the players
as
can
well as
visit.
first-person
team
throughout
has
the
done
run.
incredible work
Outer
bringing
Worlds 2
Outer
is
Worlds 2 to
$80 US.
And we can't wait for you to play it.
Even though we've always been a multi-project studio, this is going to be the
Jesus.
first time we've ever released 3 games in 1 year. It feels amazing to me. We're so excited for more people to be playing our games. It is truly
Now I
an exciting
gotta-
time here at Obsidian. We're exploring worlds big and small while expanding on franchises that we've created, and we have no plans to slow down. We hope you all
Yeesh.
continue to come along
Will
with
I
us
be
as we
picking
do
it up
what
and
we do
launch now?
best.
I don't
Make
know.
Your world, your way.
125 Canadian fucking dollars. All right, is the rest of this? I think the next 20 minutes of this are going to be grounded, so I'm going to be super real. I'm going to tune right out. We'll go examine the P4 trailer because my stream didn't get to look at it because everything broke, so I didn't get to appreciate it. Even though I've already seen everybody bitching that it was just like
With the Outer Worlds
him running for a second, right?
To play, which is
Like here, goddammit, it's here. Shut up. Stop asking about
You can play
it.
the Outer Worlds 2 on this Xbox, but it may be hard to play it when you're staring at all these beautiful holes. Let's cut that. You can play the Outer Worlds 2 on this Xbox. Oh yeah, now that's Microsoft. Or you can take a phone call on this Xbox, then play the Outer Worlds 2
Oh, we're
right
doing
after.
that.
Excuse me, I'm getting a call.
Look at them doing a countdown to when I can tune
I'm
out.
playing the Outer Worlds. Hello? Yeah, this is Mark. I didn't know I had jury duty today. You could play the Outer Worlds 2 on this Xbox, but it takes 2 people to lug around safely.
I like that they're adding in sound effects of it being too heavy to carry.
This is an Xbox you actually wear that also plays the Outer Worlds 2. What do you think, Claire?
This is amazing.
Are you playing?
I think so.
Fantastic. So now this is actually not an Xbox, so you cannot play the Outer Worlds 2 on it. Can't play anything on this. I guess Bread. You ever play Bread where you take
He
it out
came
of
up
one
with this
slot,
himself,
put
you
it
can
in the
tell.
other? I don't have friends. If you pre-order the premium edition now, you'll get early access, which is like a prequel
How much is
to
the
sequel,
fucking?
or is launch the
How
sequel?
much is the fucking premium edition with all the
Or,
DLC
like,
gonna
why are any of us
cost?
alive at any time?
Like what, 160 fucking bucks?
Either way, my job here is done. It's time for the Grounded 2 portion of the Direct, which is sort of like the
That
sequel
announcement
to
of
the
it being
Outer Worlds
80
2
bucks
portion of the
US
Direct,
may
which I
have taken
absolutely
that
just
from
hit
a
a
we're
home
gonna
run
play that on the
with.
channel day
It's really
one
nice
to
to see
I
my
don't fucking know,
influence go
man,
on to other
honestly.
games. Take it away, team.
I guess that's up to you guys in the donation box. More than anything else. Maybe I'll stream the first game with a fucking donation bar, but like, I don't know. Okay, so now I can tune out happily. Alright. Cool. Anyway. Mute. Okay. First things first, I'm gonna come here. So I can say hi. Alright, there we go. Alright, we are currently sitting over here. Good show. Outer Worlds 2 looks great. The price does not. That took me from, yep, we're gonna play that on the channel, to I have no idea. But let's get back to the 2 things that happened there. Now, actually, I want to take a look at the Invincible trailer first, just because, like, I didn't get to appreciate it. Invincible trailer game. Invincible versus. Yeah, give me. Wait, Ubisoft made an Invincible game before this? Guarding the Globe? I didn't know that. Why is all my UI gone, by the way? Yeah, what the fuck? Hey, OBS, do your fucking job. Refresh. Thank you for that. That was unprofessional as fuck. It's because it fucking crashed before. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, let's see. So Invincible versus. Can I get Skybound Games? Can I get like I want the official video, if I can get it. I might not be able to get it though. Invincible versus reveal. Okay, let's see. I mean, I could use the Xbox trailer. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna do that then. Okay, yeah, give me the Xbox version. Thank you. Let's load that up, and then bring us back here. Okay, now let's actually appreciate this trailer the way it was supposed to be. Because I didn't get to really look at it, because that's when everything broke.
This is ridiculous. Please, come on. Are you one of them? You're here, but it's
Jesus.
Had enough yet?
No, Dad, not even close.
They're showing up. Huh. Is this stuff that's happened yet? Or am I seeing spoilers? Or is this what ifs? There might be what ifs.
hoped you'd understand why
By the way, I can technically see grounded on the TV still in case something happens, but I don't
or
get it.
die.
I'd like to propose a third option.
All right, so this is a 3v3 tag fighter, by the way.
I'm not your son anymore. I'm the guy who's going to throw you off this planet for good.
Yeah.
I trusted you.
The destruction in the back is really great. Who's making this, by the way? I didn't see. I don't even recognize her. Looks good. 3v3 tag fighting, yeah. The fact that they, sorry. I don't think I was appreciating it until just now. For those that don't know, Invincible's voice cast is fucking stacked and expensive. Like, Mark is fucking, first off, like it's oh god, what is his name right now? Oh god, don't forget it. Steven, oh fuck, please do not forget his name right now. Glenn, Walking Dead guy. It's not Steven, is it? No, I'm thinking of someone else. Fuck. Okay, well, he's expensive. Jillian Jacobs is Adam Eve. Obviously, J.K. Simmons. They got J.K. Simmons for a fighting game. Like, this was not cheap. Like, I guess the logic must have been, if we're spending this much on the voice cast already to bring them in and have them match the show, I guess the rest of the game better fucking be a high production value ass game. Who's making this?
I am ending you.
Yeah, I'm really bummed out that I didn't get to appreciate this when it happened on the show the first time, because OBS exploded. But whatever. And then we'll go look at Persona, because again, I didn't get to appreciate it. Skybound Games, quarter up. I don't know who that is. Have they made fighters before? I don't know. I have no idea. Are they equipped for this? To be honest, by the look of that trailer, they are. But like, it's no Arxis, but like, hey, that looked good. Anyway, let me go to the thing that matters, so I can actually appreciate it. Yeah, that's cute. Xbox. Anyway, yeah, where's the real one? There we go. It's just a teaser trailer. It's just a teaser trailer. Okay, let's make sure this is in 4K first. Yes, it is. All good. 4K 60. Good to know. Okay, now before I load this up and we hyper examine it to death, because I have to. Let's read the message from Wada, who is the head of the franchise right now. I think I've largely skimmed over this and I get the gist of it, but I have not read it yet entirely because I wanted to talk about it properly on stream. Hello, this is Wada from P Studio. We're very pleased to announce the release of Persona 4 Revival. We look forward to sharing even more information in due time. Persona 4 has spawned. Let's try that again. Persona 4 has spawned numerous spin-off works, including TV anime, Persona 4 Arena, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, Persona 4 Dancing All Night, and is a special title that has been a part of Atlas for many years and holds a personal place in my heart. We're currently working on this project with all our passion and love. We're confident that this will be a fresh and surprising product for both newcomers and longtime fans, and we look forward to sharing it with you all. Additionally, we are actively preparing for the future development of the Persona series as a studio. We are working hard to meet the expectations of fans around the world. Let me take that one in from the top, actually. Actively preparing for the future development of the Persona series as a studio. We are working hard to meet the expectations of fans around the world, and our work is progressing well. Please stay tuned for more updates. AKA 6. So that's really cool. I actually kind of wonder, because before we peek at this, let me Persona. Oh my god, this new keyboard 3 reload announcement trailer. I want to see real quick, did they give us the release date when they announced it? Were we given a release date when they announced this? I'll just watch the whole thing. It's fine. Nice to revisit it. God, it was such a moment. Oh, that's right. That's right, because the text was, yeah, the text was on a different version the first time. I just want to know if they had a release date back then, or is that the thing we got later? I know I'm edging on the way to the trailer a lot, but I literally just want to know, did they give us the release date right away? Early 2024 is what they said. Okay. They didn't even give us that for this, to my understanding. Okay. That's good to know. Shush. Shush. Okay. Now, again, I saw most of this the first time, but OBS exploded. So I was too busy panicking and freaking out to really take most of it in. I was screaming, I was freaking out, and we missed all of it. And I'm extremely upset about that, because that should have been a big moment. But whatever. Hey. Hey. Do not use the pause on the nice shirt. Hi. Oh, thank you. You also want to know what's going on, huh? Thank you. Okay. Let's appreciate this. All right. Early development content. That's interesting. That implies this may not, to be real, for months, or not months, but as soon as we started getting the proper rumblings, my thought process was, but it's so soon after Reload. Like, I thought it would be after 6 or something, honestly. This tells me no, but they're not talking about it with a date. In fact, they're saying it's early. Right? Like, when you have early development content on there, that tells me they want this to be known now. But I actually kind of wonder now, was the voice actor thing... I don't think the voice actor thing was on purpose. I don't think it was a marketing stunt. I don't think so. Why would you... That doesn't make sense. At the same time, that was 3 voice acting people who are smart enough to know better, all doing the same thing one after another. So it's like, I don't know. At the same time, I really do not think, based on how small this trailer is, and again, I'm edging myself right now a bit, I would definitely assume, I would potentially assume they did not intend to show it yet. And that they felt their hand had been forced, and that they kind of like threw this together really quickly to be like, okay, well, fine, now we have to announce it. But like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? This announcement doesn't read to me the same way the Persona 3 Reload announcement did. You look at the trailer we just watched, that reads like a game that is coming soon with confidence. It said early 2024. You know when it came out? Fucking February. Like the second week of February, I think. Something like that. Actually, no, it might have... No. Wait. I think it might have even been the end of January. No, sorry. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Infinite Wealth was January. Infinite Wealth was the last week of January. Reload was the next week. Yeah. Now I remember. Because the stream schedule bled through that. Yeah, wow. But this does not read the same way to me. This reads like this is farther off than that. This reads like this is not coming next January or February exactly. Unless they plan to hoodwink us and pull the wool over our eyes. I don't know. Did they feel like this one would be harder to hide? Did they think this one would be trickier to keep secret? Hi, bud. Hi. Hello. You're such a good boy. Such a good boy. Such a good boy. I know, but your face is leaking again. But yeah. Anyway, sorry. I would actually like to watch this trailer now for the first time properly. Yeah, this is the moment when I was like, oh wow, yeah, look at that. Sorry, let's do the freeze framing after we've looked through it once. When I heard this music is when just for your awareness, when I heard this music, that's when my brain turned on and I realized whatever I was talking about ahead of that suddenly got deleted. And it's also when I noticed that down on my analytics box, this is why I also have that there, so I know, because I wouldn't have known, I just wouldn't have known, that I was no longer streaming. I was no longer streaming. So I was like, oh no. And I was like, I gotta get it back on before the trailer's over. And it was long over by then. So yeah, this is around when I stopped really, unfortunately, paying enough attention because I had to fix the stream. Anyway, I'm gonna go back a bit. Okay, take it from the top. Don't pause it at all. Just let it roll. And then we'll do some freeze framing after. There you go. Wow. Not much indication just yet that, oh. Well, firstly, that's time to make history. That's not reach out to the truth. Zone of 4 Revival, there you go. That's it. That's all you get. Okay. Now, again, they didn't say 2026. They didn't say coming soon. They just announced it. And again, the quote from Wada just says, "We look forward to sharing even more information in due time." It does not read like it doesn't read like it's coming all that soon. But that's not enough yet for me to assume it's not. They might just want to have a little bit more time. It might be like maybe not next March to like February kind of range like it was last time with Reload. It could be still more like next summer. I could also see that. It also kind of fits P4's vibe to be a summer game. The big thing right now that is telling for me is P4R, as we're calling it now, which, by the way, we didn't get a single hint of a golden element. We didn't get a single hint about anything, which is fine. I don't need those yet. But what we didn't get any confirmation. Like I said at the start of the stream, or well, I guess not this stream now. I guess it was the first one before it broke. I have zero ability to believe that the golden stuff isn't going to be in, because it's not like FemC where you have to build a second video game, essentially, right? This is just adding to the calendar, right? It's as complicated as adding new events, which, spoiler, is not that complicated, other than having to figure out where it goes in the calendar. That part's complicated, but like as far as adding an event, that's tricky. But like all the calendar's already figured out. That's the nice thing about doing one of these, is like, unless you're adding in new events, which you might be, you are not talking about remixing and mixing in or out events. You can just take the calendar as it was. But I just kind of don't believe there's a version of this story they would ship that like doesn't have true story. Or like, again, the next time you see a trailer, if you see even a single snapshot of Marie, you know what's going on. And then no more questioning. I'm kind of surprised though, given the way that there was a conversation around what they were or weren't doing certain things in Reload, that they didn't show a golden element right away, just so people would shut the fuck up. The only reason I can accept that would be it is early and that they're not ready to show that stuff. Or they're not ready to show stuff in general. I will say, you look at the footage, it's definitely early. But also, that doesn't mean it's far off. This trailer could have been completed a while ago. This trailer could be old. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you cook your proof of concept trailer and then you stop. To be completely honest, I think there's a world where the voice actor thing happened, right? Okay, here's the big thing for me. The English voice recording for these projects is always one of the last parts of the project. It's one of the last components that gets put together, you know? So if the old voice actors have already been informed that they have been replaced, that means the new voices are already hard at work. That's the part that's got me stuck. That makes me think this was like, okay, here's my prediction right now. Here's my prediction. Next time we see this game, it's going to look very different because it's going to actually be footage representative of what it looks like now. Here's my prediction. This 40-second slice, I think this is what they showed voice actors or people behind the scenes. Like, to be like, hey, here's what we're working on, right? Hey, if you know a guy, hey, take a look at this. I got this on my phone. Okay, don't tell anybody. Sign an NDA, right? I think that's what this is. I don't think they scrambled to put this trailer together. I think this is what they showed internally. I think this is their internal trailer. That's genuinely, that's what I think. I think this game's a lot farther along than you'd expect, because if the English voice actors are talking about having been replaced, again, English voice acting, one of the last parts of these projects all the time, every time. So, not as far along as Reload, I think, but not far behind. That's where my head's at right now. I think this is like, I should just be looping this in the background while I talk, honestly. Actually, can I do that? Isn't there a button for replay? I thought there was a button for replay. Oh well. But yeah, that's my prediction. I think this is an internal thing that was meant to be shown specifically to people. Hey, they bring the voice actor into the booth. What am I doing? Here's what we're doing. You know, that sort of thing. You know, this is what you're working with. And then they freak out. They go, oh my God! You know, like that they do that, you know? So you give your voice actor an idea of what they're working with. Or development staff. I genuinely think this trailer is their proof of concept. And I don't think this is representative of where the game's at right now. I think they are announcing it and giving credence to the fact that it is being announced because of what the voice actors did. I think they just quickly scrambled to get this into a showcase because they're like, fuck. They blew the lid off the secret, and they're like, well, okay, well, we don't have anything to show that's like ready to show yet, but it's like much farther along than this. I think they have footage. I think the game's way closer than this would lead you to believe. But I think this was, oh fuck, the voice actors said something, and now we have to show something. Otherwise, we're like, we have to say something, or else like everybody already knows. There's no point in hiding it anymore, right? That's why they have that. That's why they have we are looking forward to sharing more information when it's ready, right? I think this trailer is this is their internal slice, the vertical slice, so to speak. All this footage looks a little bloomy in a way that I don't think the final game will be. This is definitely early footage. I don't think that means this is what the game currently looks like. I think the game's a lot farther along than this, if I had to guess. This is all speculation, to be clear. I could be wrong. I was wrong about Kingdom Hearts 4. I said, oh, this game looks really close. I was wrong, clearly. So, you know, take what I say with a grain of salt. But I think this was their internal video to show to staff and voice actors and stuff like that. And I think they're now just throwing it out because the voice actors blew the surprise. I think this was thrown together very quickly for the showcase. It is a teaser trailer. It is not meant to be representative of what is actually happening right now. That being said, all that aside, I'm very excited. I don't know when I'm gonna get to play it. They didn't give us a window. They didn't even say 2026, which that's the part that's kind of freaky, is they didn't even say the year window, which to me, it can mean a lot of things. It means A, they don't want to nail it down yet, right? The game's coming. They don't want to nail it down to even a year yet. That means to me, minimum, it could be summer, or it could be late 26. It could even slip to 27, right? That's what I think. It could slip. It could totally slip, and that's probably why we didn't even get a year. But I think it's very telling that the voice actors have already been recording. Because again, that's usually the last thing that happens. Or one of the last parts of the process, you know? So I don't know. This is a big deal for Atlas and Sega in general. This game means a lot to a lot of people. Doesn't mean as much to me as the other two, but it means a lot to me still, you know? There's tweaks to make narratively, I think. I've said this quite a few times before. Much more than anything in P3, you need to touch up the Kanji and Naoto storylines. And I'm not saying rewrite them or change them so their context is dramatically different. I'm saying you need to write them more with the modern lens. And no, I don't mean I need them to, like, change the point of those narratives. But there is some language that worked in 2008 that was a little more less socially conscious that doesn't work as much today, right? The stuff with Naoto is great in context if you're willing to go with it. But there's a reason a lot of people bounce these days when they get there, because it makes them uncomfortable, because there is a very clear link to, like, okay, I need to be very careful about how I say this. Some people, I'm not even going to say incorrectly, some people see the Naoto stuff and think that it is about transness. Now, it's not necessarily, but it is overwhelmingly close enough that I don't blame anybody for thinking that. And the language is just skirting close enough, clearly not on purpose, but it's skirting close enough to where it makes people that have gender dysphoria, they have feelings and they bounce a lot of time. A lot of people bounce there. A lot of people bounce at Kanji's segment, right? Because that segment has the deftness of a hammer these days, right? That stuff, you don't have to, here's the thing. I'm not saying you changed the narrative. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you changed the narrative. I wouldn't want them to. What I'm saying is you can write that in a way that's much more socially conscious today. The Yakuza series has already done this, actually. So Sega's, and it's the same people localizing both of these games. Spoiler alert. The people that localize the Yakuza games are the same people that localize the Persona games. So, like, they're already good at this, you know? They didn't have to do it with Reload, but, like, all the new stuff in Reload that was brand new, all the new scenes, those were the best scenes in Reload. Shocker, because they were new, and, like, they carried the characters farther. But you can take a lot of that stuff in Reload, or sorry, in Golden, and P4 in general, and you can just, you don't even really have to uplift it. Here's the thing, I'm not saying you change those stories. You don't need to change them. The context of it doesn't need to change. But you can absolutely write it in a way where they address, or rather just don't not address, the fact that, like, gender dysphoria is very obviously something the majority of people would at least think about during the Naoto stuff, you know? Like, yeah, I don't know how, you would have to be fucking dead inside or just, you know, an asshole. Or obstinate as fuck to play that segment and not see where anybody, like, and not get, like, oh, I don't know what y'all are talking about. I don't know, y'all are reading into this too far. Oh man, you're pulling something on another. No, bro, look at it. Look at it. Look at what is being said in that sequence. And if you know anything about gender dysphoria, like, you immediately understand how someone that was familiar with it might feel a little uncomfortable, or like something was hitting a weird note, you know, like that's a big point, right? Or even things like Naoto choosing to wear a girl's outfit in the date version with you is a little, in context of what that character comes to the conclusion of at the end of their arc, it's a little weird, you know, stuff like that. Things like that you can touch up without, like, making it weird, you know. kanji. Listen, kanji and not listen. Please understand. I have less connection to the Persona 4 cast in general than the other two casts, personally. But I love Kanji and Naoto specifically just as much as the other casts. I kind of think the game doesn't start until Kanji shows up, to be honest. P4 goes from, it's pretty good, to, oh no, we're awesome, to the minute Kanji shows up, to me. But I do also think some of the way that some of that stuff with him is handled is for the time, I think they handled it okay. It does not surprise me that many people cannot make it through Kanji's dungeon emotionally and bounce off of it there. It doesn't surprise me that that's happened to a lot of people, right? I've seen that a lot over the years. People just bounce right there because they're like, it made me uncomfortable as a game man. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fair enough. I can't take that from you. That's the sort of thing that you can address in a remake, right? By the way, this is not me getting all like discoursey. I don't care. This is not like, that's not what this is about. What I'm trying to say actually is this is their chance to address the discourse head on and nip it in the bud. Acknowledge that the studio, it's not even that they've grown. I don't think that people in 2008 were equipped to write that story in any other way. Like genuinely, I don't blame them at all. It's unfortunate that the world progressed very rapidly after that, or at the very least, popular culture's perception and understanding of how to write that sort of thing progressed very rapidly, right? It's not their fault. You can make the argument that they should have known better in 2008. I would argue in 2008, especially game writing, was not at the place where it was ready to have those conversations. Now we not only are, but we're better at it, you know? You don't need to change Kanji and Naoto's stories, and I don't want them to. You shouldn't. But you can write them in a way that isn't like kind of dodging and bobbing and weaving past some like tricky emotional areas, you know? Like it's you can do a lot with a little. That's all I'm saying. And you don't need to like change the narrative itself to do that, you know? I strongly doubt they would go back to those sequences and leave them as they were without just, you don't have to change what happens in those sequences. You don't have to change the context. You don't have to change anything about the characters' arcs at all. And you shouldn't. But you can write them in a more conscious way. That's all. It doesn't have to be a big deal. This is a big opportunity for them to do that. And that will allow more people to enjoy it rather than, you know, some people coming out of it and being like, oh man, So I've seen too many people try to play P4 over the years that love P5 and 3, and they bounce the fuck off of P4. They bounce the fuck off. And specifically when they get to Kanji. God forbid they get to Naoto. If the type of people that bounce off when they get to Kanji, if they do manage to get through, they don't survive Naoto. If they're grimacing and be like about Kanji and that stuff, they don't make it through Naoto, right? Because the Naoto stuff in that perspective is a lot worse if you have experienced JoJo's Morphea, right? Which I haven't. And I don't want to act like I'm some I'm someone that is equipped to fully have a conversation about gender dysmorphia. I am a straight white dude, right? I'm not trans. I'm a dude. I have no hang-ups about if I'm gonna flip to something else. Like that's everybody else's decision, and it's a fine decision, and there's nothing wrong with it. And if you try to even come into my feed or my comments at any point later in this timeline of this video and tell me that people aren't allowed to make their own damn decisions about their own lives that aren't bothering you, go eat a dick and die. Straight up. And I'll also block you from the channel, so, and I don't care. I will. I don't care. I don't need you, if that's the kind of person you are. But like, even though I'm certainly not an authority on the matter, what I can tell you is I have seen enough people who are affected by that bounce off to understand, okay, there's something there that needs to be addressed. And I understand the things that need to be addressed too, right? Like it's not a bad thing to just, by the way, not even asking them to change anything about the scenes or the writing or the way it's written at all. I don't want them to do that. I'm not asking them to change the context. Just rewrite the scenes a bit, tweak the lines to be a little more conscious. You know, that's it. That's all it takes. You can literally do I think I've spent 20 minutes talking about something that they can do and fix in like 2 text boxes. like I'm talking about something like it's going to be some huge task. This is like one text box added for both scenes, and you fix the problem. And then people don't have to feel uncomfortable with those scenes anymore. Like you don't have to change anything to do that. Just not even add. Just rewrite some of them. You know, like this is a Band-Aid style fix that can totally reevaluate what people are able to engage with this game's material or not. You know, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing. I've seen P4 as a big chance to P4R before we even had the name. Which, by the way, Revival, it'll grow on me, I'm sure. I still wish it was Rerun though. It's a better name. It was right there. But yeah, Revival is still pretty good. Maybe they'll explain why that's the name at some point, and I'll be like, oh, okay, that's actually pretty good then. I kind of wonder if they would... I'm just imagining a world where, like, they did... Okay, I'm going to throw out something insane. Are you ready for this? I'm gonna go for broke right now, okay? I'm going to go nuts with this next one. Okay. Persona 4 Revival. Ships, everything from Golden's in the game, base game. That's all done. And I actually really do think that's going to happen. I would strongly doubt. There's nothing in Golden that would take like an entire other game's budget like FMC would have, right? Like, there's nothing in Golden that would actually require that. So Golden, it's unfortunate we didn't see Marie, but the minute we see Marie, we know that it's all good. Or if it's not even seeing Marie. Marie's just the easy cheat sheet, right? If we see a snapshot of true story, the band sequence, if we see the meteor shower, if we see like any of those extra events, even a single one from Golden, it's like, okay, Golden's in. We don't have to think about it anymore, you know? But just saying, if you saw Marie in the hat, then that's like an easy, there you go. Here's my crazy idea. No, they won't do this. They probably shouldn't do this. It's a stupid idea, but imagine. So, Persona 4 Revival launches. It's P4 original and P4 Golden all wrapped into a remake wrapper, right? The question then becomes, well, what are you going to do with the DLC? What do you do with the DLC then? Well, you want to do the GOAT move. We made the Persona 4 Arena, Ultimax, and dancing storylines into their own DLC episodes. That's insane. They'll never do that. Don't think they'll do that. Don't start pushing that they do that, because that's insane. But my brain was like, could you imagine if they're like, well, we can't just remake the spin-offs. Well, actually, if they really wanted to, they could. Get a fucking remake of Persona 4 Arena Ultimax before a sequel? Before a Persona 5 Arena? Get a fucking remake of Ultimax? Oh my god. Could you imagine? Yeah, we decided to remake Ultimax in-house. It's not a fighting game this time. It's still like Golden, or it's still like Revival. Oh my god. That'd be so stupid. I'm not pushing this as a thing they should do. I hope it's understood. I'm just laughing. I'm having a good time. That shit's funny. Oh my god. God. Oh. It's past 3:19. I would like to take a minute to do some freeze framing and looking around. I want to see if there's probably not a whole lot, to be honest, that I can spot, but I would like to at least peek. So we have the stop sign. Yeah, we have the street where you go to school from, right? We have the road that you walk to school. P4's zones, all things considered, are relatively small. Like there's that main street you run down that we actually see you running down in a minute. There's this street that might as well not even be in the game, because it's just a road that you almost never walk down, except you're trying to go for a certain S-link, right? There's the school itself, which we'll talk about that in a second, but like this road, I wonder if they'll kind of populate it more. Also, it's also interesting thinking about, even on top of Golden stuff, right? Like, we are also talking about, if we're talking about another remake like Reload, like I'm gonna be super real for a second. Reload was the one I needed the most because that's the game that I actually have an extreme emotional tie to. I don't have that for P4 like other people do, right? I do love it. I do think it's incredible, but it doesn't. The theme of death and living your life to the fullest and not being afraid to face whatever's in front of you with a smile because of the people around you, that means a lot to me. Theme of rebellion and breaking away from your chains and not allowing other people to make decisions for you, P5, that means a lot to me. A lot. The theme of truth and seeking out truth at all costs, it's a good theme, but it doesn't hit me specifically in the same way. That's sort of my part of P4 that doesn't seal it in the same way that it does for 3 and 5. Those two themes are very important to me as a person. P4's theme of reaching out to the truth, finding the truth at any cost. Like, I get it. I don't not understand it. It's just that doesn't it's a little more abstract to me. Does that make sense? I mean, not abstract. Like, I get it and I can vibe with it, but it's like, there's an element of it to me that's always been like, what, it's a 10 instead of an 11, like the other two? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the best way I can put it. It's incredibly good, incredibly great. But that particular theme doesn't have emotional resonance to me like the other two do. That's all. But it's still fucking incredible. I still love this game. But like taking, I don't know, for me, when I think about the concept of truth, I'm like, well, sometimes there are truths you shouldn't know because they actually make your life worse, right? Like sometimes there are things that you can discover that make the world worse. And maybe that's not always good to know. But at the same time, you can also make the argument that it's people's right to know all the time. That's true. I understand that. But I don't know. It's just a little more abstract to me. This is my thing. Nevertheless, P4 specifically has a lot of great stuff that I in Golden especially, that I'm excited to see brought back. But I'm excited to see what they would do new. Because you're talking about a game that's already had an expanded... Reload was remaking a game that had a core path. And then the main major thing they added in other versions was a post-game campaign, which they just made a post-game campaign as DLC. And then a separate campaign with a separate protagonist that would have, cost a lot more to make, unfortunately. To which they were incredibly upset about at the studio. Like the apology, I already talked about the apology that Wada made because he was upset they couldn't do it without canceling the whole project. Like yeah, the dude tried so hard. Fucking Christ. When the game came out, we found in the files, like, there were character names associated with S-links from the female route. Like, they clearly didn't it wasn't lip service. They tried. It was in the files. They got as far as putting the characters in the game. So, like, they did not try. But yeah, anyway. But like, yeah, P4 is a game that had a bunch of Golden style events bolted onto it already, right? So the calendar's pretty full, right? You would think that would make it easier to remake because there's not as much new stuff to put in. It's interesting because whenever you redo one of these calendar games, they end up in a weird position where, like, okay, now we have to take an existing calendar year and we have to fit new stuff into it, right? Without breaking all the old events. Sometimes they have to take an event and put it forward or back a day, and you would never really notice unless you actually put the two versions side by side and played them day by day, right? Which only an insane person would do. Don't worry, even I'm not that insane. Like, I bet there are some events that are like a day forward or back in P5 in Royal, Like I bet there are a couple. You have to move a few things whenever you add new things into the calendar, right? So you've already got a calendar that's been added to for with Golden. So now if you want to add more new events, that could be tricky. Because you're talking about a calendar that was full, then they put more into it. Now you're talking about putting even more into it within the same span of days, right? Unless you want to add another new arc, right? I mean, I will tell you right now, I think one of the weakest parts of P4 is the game's original true ending. Should I say that? Maybe I shouldn't say that, actually. Okay, I'm gonna keep the lid on that. The thing that happens after True Culprit, which, oh yeah, right, by the way, I have to start saying True Culprit again, because I have to assume people don't know. If you don't know, I won't tell you, but it's one of my favorite twists ever. Because you get there and you're like, I have been chasing this fucker for fucking 60 hours, and every fucking reasoning that this guy could have had, guy or girl, could have had was wrong or a red herring or anything. What the fuck is your deal? And when they say what it is, you're like, are you for real? That's it? It's one of my favorite twists ever. Because you're like, that it's all because of that? It's the greatest. So yeah, I guess I'm going to have to start saying True Culprit again. Because I have to assume new people don't know. Remake etiquette. Engaged. When you get to the true final boss, because it's not True Culprit, I always thought that was not the greatest finish to the game. Like they do the thing with, all your S-Links calling in, and that stuff's emotionally resonant still, but I just don't know. I just found it to be, the twists that led into it were cool. I liked that, but something about it just didn't feel like it was ending in the right place. I don't know, for me. So you could also tweak that in this and make it feel a little more thematically resonant. That would be nice. Make it feel not quite as out of nowhere. Keep in mind, P4 is a game, the original P4, not Golden, was a game that was made less than 2 years after 3, while they were making Portable. And then, then the game clearly had some cut corners, right? That's what I'm saying, right? That were then filled in, sanded off in Golden. Golden had a proper full cycle, and they had time to sand off some of those rough edges, right? This will have none of this. This doesn't have to have any of that, right? This is going to be a much more complete thing out the gate. We might honestly still do Golden on camera at some point. I don't know how long this is going to be. If this is as far away as it seems like it might be, I might just do it if I have a time span to do it. But yeah. So adding. Would they do a new arc after the original final boss? Who knows? I'm going to assume no. But if we're talking about adding new things into the calendar in the same way that Reload and Royal did, the point I'm trying to get across is they've never had to redux a calendar a second time. They've reduxed the calendars once each. Persona 3 doesn't redux the calendar for Portable. It sort of does in terms of the FemC route, but that's not really the same thing. They're actually replacing events entirely. They're not adding new ones in. They're just subbing certain events out, right? And that's easier to do than put new ones in, but still find time to fit the old ones, right? I suppose... okay, now that I'm thinking about it, one of the ways that P4 does this, and I often forget this, is the first motorcycle event in Golden happens in the middle of another day where other things happen. Something I remember the last time I played P4 was thinking, damn, you get to this first bike day event, the day out with Yosuke and Kanji, where he brings the bike, right? One of the first major Golden events, right? And that's sandwiched at the end of another set of major story events, or maybe it's before, or maybe it's after. I forget. It's sandwiched between them either way, and it's a long string of cutscenes, right? before you get back to like moving around, right? So they could just put new events in existing days as well. In fact, they might have to if they want to not overstuff the calendar, right? It makes you wonder. It's probably a lot easier to just slot them into existing days and not necessarily move the things that happened on those days originally, right? Like, I don't know, on one of the days where the team meets up on the rooftop. It's not the rooftop at a certain point, is it? Where's the fucking high? No, they do stick with the rooftop, don't they? For a good portion of time. Yeah, I'm thinking of P5 where they change. Or am I? No. I don't want to be definitive. I don't remember. Where like they have their big meeting on the rooftop, for example, right? And that's like a big lengthy scene. And then after that, I don't know, they go to the beach. Someone goes to the beach. You goes to the beach for some reason. And then something happens, you know, stuff like that. Like you can fit them into existing days to try and get that to work. That's a thing they can do. I'm very interested in what they might do with like, you're gonna have a new S-Link. Oh, well, now that I think about it, Reload set the standard that all S-Links are going to be voiced from now on, which is awesome. Jesus, the only reason I even tangentially don't completely laugh off the idea of a P5 remake is because I kind of think it really fucking sucks to go back to Royal now and not have those be fully voiced. Now that I know that they can do that. Right? Like Reload kind of blew the hinges off that door. And now in metaphor, it hurt that they weren't all voiced. It hurt in metaphor. It really hurt the experience because Reload had just happened. I forgave it because it's like, okay, the dev cycle synced up. They probably didn't know Reload was doing it, or by the time they found out it was too late. And they're like, okay, well, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. But like now, Reload, this game, Revival, will absolutely have voiced S-Links. They've already set the standard. So that's interesting. So yeah, that'll fully voiced Nanako and Dojima S-Links. Who are you gonna get other than JB Blanc? Well, listen, Persona 3 Reload went out of its way to have the entire original voice cast that it could get away with in that game in like a smaller role somewhere, right? The ones that, you know, weren't assholes, like a certain someone. I think Yuri was in the game somewhere. I think Yuri Lowenthal was in the game somewhere. I think. That's the only one I'm not sure about. Tara Platt was still Elizabeth, so they kept that, right? Let's see. Akihiko was the cop. The guy that sells you weapons. He voiced the cop in Reload. Liam O'Brien. Let's see. The lady who voiced Fuka was also in there somewhere. Yeah, most of the voice cast for P3 original was there. How was the Xbox to rent? It was cool. It was cool enough. Outer Worlds looks great. It's $80 though, so I'm not sure. And we're talking about the P4R remake right now. Which I'll just roll the footage again while I'm talking. But yeah, like there's a lot of cool stuff they can do with tweaking. I imagine JB Blunt will still be in the game somewhere. If Yuri didn't completely burn the bridge with those tweets, maybe he'll actually be in a role somewhere. You could have the lady who does Yukiko be one of the teachers. You know, something like that. Have Chie do another one, or Gerald, Aaron Fitzgerald, something like that. It's such a quick teaser, but I still, sorry, now that I've done that again, I said we were going to take a peek and like pause on some of these environments for my own sake and like just sort of see if I can spot any details. Probably not a lot. You can actually see this part of the town over here, right here, actually, which kind of makes me wonder if you can walk across the bridge. Right? Like, this is a PS5 game. The town could be seamless. There's a PS5 and Series X only. No PS4 version. This town could be seamless. There might be no load screens. That might be a big thing. Right? Like that might be a part of this. That's just a guess. But like, the bridge is here. This is the road that you walk down to school. Right? Like, let's say it connects right there. That could be where, I mean, that actually does kind of look like the part of the town, edge of town, that's that main street is on, right? There's a chance that that's just the turn that you take, and it just takes you right to the school. You'll probably still warp around because that's just kind of how these games are, right? But like, there's a chance you might not have any loading screens for all of Inaba. Then again, I don't know if would they necessarily want to make the whole town. I don't know. Right? The town's actually pretty big. It's a small town, but like if you actually built it out in the context of this game, then that starts looking a little bigger, right? But like, as far as the main areas, that core road into the bridge, into this road leading into the school, that could be seamless. And then maybe there's a loading transition to get back home, right? Because they don't want to build the rest of the town beyond that, because then they have to build the rest of the town beyond that, and they don't want to do that. And I don't want them to do that. That would be too much. That would require putting a lot of new things into those parts of town, and that doesn't make any sense. Structurally, it doesn't make any sense. You're not making P4 at that point. You're making a different game. So don't do that. But there is a chance maybe that road connects that way, and maybe this is like a seamless road with no load screens. Maybe. Okay, now of course we have the shrine. I said this before. The fact that it says early development, I won't get into the whole thing again. I already went over it, but I truly do think this is old. This is an old like vertical slice internal trailer that they decided to throw out to us because the voice actors didn't shut up. Like, I genuinely do think they dropped an internal slice, and that the game looks much farther along than this right now. That's my guess. If they're talking about voice actors having been replaced, again, English voice acting is one of the last parts of the process. Usually that's one of the last parts of the whole process. So, just saying. I think this is early development footage. I think this trailer was made like 2 years ago. 1 or 2 years ago. 1.5. I think this teaser trailer was made like 1.5 years ago, just to show internal staff, to make people get like, oh, okay, that's what they're doing. Okay. Something to show like shareholders or whatever. Right? Do shareholders get to see stuff like that this early? I don't know. I don't know how that works. But like, yeah, I actually think the game's farther along than this footage would provide. I think the next time we see it, we're going to be like, whoa, that looks really different than the first time we saw it. And I think that's probably because this footage is, I think this is their internal vertical slice that they had to throw out because the voice actors wouldn't shut up. And they're like, well, fuck, well, now it's too late. Now we need to say something. So yeah, that's also how the quotes around it are reading to me so far. So yeah, the shrine. So I guess I would really like it if they made the Fox quests a little less, not obtuse. I did it the last time I played the game, but it's just a little, I don't know. To be honest, P5 figured out how to do that style of request much more intrinsically and like with less friction. And then Reload actually expanded on that and did it even better. So I actually don't have a lot of concern that they won't make the Fox much more like intuitive. I don't know. I think that's probably going to be a lot more, will flow a lot better. Okay, so we can actually get a few extra shots on these TVs here. So that's the roof of the school. It's very bright, but also I'm not gonna, I do like, again, with this all being potential, I still think it's vertical slice footage, right? The lighting stuff may not be representative of final release, right? So I wouldn't put too much stock in it right now. Hell, even just because of that, that footage, right? Mix of gameplay and non-gameplay footages, which is interesting. But yeah, you can see a bit of the roof. It's very bright that day. Also, to be fair, we might go up there at different times a day, right? So like, it could also just be, there are different lighting effects at different times. That happened in Reload as well, Gotta play Reload again. And Metaphor. These games are so good. I should have played them again by now. Sorry, wait, sorry. So you can actually see from one building to the practice building, unless this is the practice building and we're actually looking from the other side. But still, you get what I mean. You could look out the window and see the other school, which maybe you could in the original version too, actually. Maybe that's something I haven't appreciated. To be fair, I've still yet to play the PS4 version that I own, the limited run version that I own. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go do that, get those trophies at least on camera. Might as well. Then we have the rest of the classroom. Yeah, give me a shot with less bloom. There we go. Yeah. So we have the main class. Can we see anybody's bags? Anyone's specific bags? Okay, my brain is getting one element confused right now. If the protagonist sat here or here, I know this is where Joker sits in the class, but I don't think that's also where you sits. I might be misremembering that. Doesn't Joker sit here? Not Joker. Doesn't you sit here? Or is it no, Chie and Yukiko sit here, and Yosuke and you sit here. Okay, yeah, that's it. Unless I'm super wrong, in which case, fuck me, I guess. The school is less dreary, but also that's just lighting, but also not really less dreary. It's actually still kind of dreary. It's just the sun is out today. We have any kind of lighting effects at all. I don't think the school is going to be less dreary, as much as like there will be instances in which natural lighting is coming through, and there will be instances in which it is raining a lot. And listen, I actually think I might be saying something crazy on an art design level here, but hear me out. For a game that's one of its core aesthetics is the rain, you should be able to appreciate the school being very bright and sunny on the days when the sun is out, because that makes the rainy days where it's drearier and darker and drabber easier to appreciate, and it can feel more like a change, right? The school didn't really feel that different on a rainy day aesthetically than it did on a day that was sunny. Let's be honest. That was just the tech of the time. And that you can argue, but the school's supposed to be dreary. I would argue the school should be dreary on a rainy day. I think because the rain and the rain coming down meaning something, such an important part of the game's structure and themes and aesthetic, having the bright and sunny days where the school looks a little nicer just from the fact that the sun is coming in the fucking windows, right? That can make a huge difference and make those rainy, dreary days more impactful. That's actually a big thing. Like that, you don't look at it as the school has a different aesthetic now. No. It's just sunny on this day. To be fair, early development footage as well. So also it might not be this sunny. I do kind of think there's a weird bloom effect that's probably a little strong, but I also don't think they're going to actually have that the whole game. But also, who knows? We'll find out next time we see the game. I genuinely think the next time we see the game, it's going to be much more representative of what you're actually going to play. Though, who is to say how long it'll be till that happens? Who knows? But I think that's important. I don't want to see anybody saying, hey, the school's supposed to be drearier. Yes, it should be on days where it's raining. But you will appreciate the impact of the dreary, rainy days more if you have days where the sun is shining in the school. That has more impact. That can actually raise the emotion of those dark and dreary days. That does something. Also, Golden is in general, or P4 in general, is like P5 is a lot of very, very dark themes, very early, and those themes go all the way through. This is a Scooby-Doo story. This is a Scooby-Doo story, like dead ass, So yeah, having brightness in the school. Hell, even just this shot right here, where is that in the school? Oh, I bet we'll be able to explore the whole school now or something like that. The school might be more fully built out, if I had to guess. Actually, wait, let me think. In Reload, yeah, the school was fully built out in Reload. You could go to every corner. Now, to be fair, you weren't going into any corners that you couldn't go to before, but you can go to the whole school. At least it feels like it. Might not be, but it feels like it. But this is an area that leads. I think this is the entrance. This is where you come into the school, I think. Because isn't that like a shoe rack and the set of lockers? Yeah, I think so. So this is even, hey, there you go, right there. There's a a sort of like afternoon sun is starting to set going into the school lighting style. So there you go. We are in fact getting multiple lighting effects going on in the game. By the way, if anybody's like, wow, you're spending a lot of time on this, have you been paying attention to this channel? Do you know where you are? What did you think was going to happen with a remake of Persona 4 from this guy? Do I need to show the shelf again? I showed it earlier in the stream. Well, it's like the first half of the stream anyway, but still. So, just saying, you really shouldn't be surprised that I'm going into this much detail. But yeah, this looks like a sort of like sun is setting lighting mood for the school entrance on the left side. I think. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I don't remember that sign. I wish I had a P4 save on PS4 that I can just load up right now. Just run in and actually check. But like, you know, I never did my PS4 save, so. No, go back. There was another one on the side. I want to see that again. Oh, that's so fast. Hold on 1 second. I guess I could slow it down, but still. I can't quite tell what that area is. There also might be new areas. That's also a possibility. They may make new places to go. Like, that's also totally a possibility. They might try to make the town a little bigger. Maybe like, not crazy bigger, but like, what if, okay, the street that you're going to see you run down in a second, right? What if you can go out the other end of that street and then walk down that street, up or down? That street that splits into another road, right? That you can't go there in original P4 Golden. What if you can do that now? That'd be cool. You know? You could do stuff like that. Let's see. Oh, there's also another question, I guess, which is, of course, will they... I can't believe I haven't mentioned it. Will they put in the Yosuke romance? Will they put it back? They might. I think today Atlas is probably more willing to do that than not. But we'll have to see. Atlas West would certainly love them too. I genuinely think that. There's a lot of people there that would love that. But then they have to face the real reality, which is that I don't want to kiss Yosuke. I want to kiss Kanji. That's the real terror. Is that no, you shouldn't put in the Yosuke romance. You should put in a Kanji one. I don't want to kiss Yosuke. I want to kiss Kanji. What are you talking about? And I'm straight. But like, if I got a choice, I don't want his ass. But Kanji would make me happy. He would knit me a sweater. He'd be so nice. He'd be so nice to me. Okay, yeah, let's actually appreciate the main road for a second. I mean, just give me a better shot. Yeah, I can't tell where that is on the right. Yeah, that's not sticking out to me. It might be. Oh no! It's the little pagoda, not pagoda. What's the word? It's the little the awning near the not the shrine. You go and meet Yukiko there sometimes. She has a lunch. God, what is that place called? It's like a park. I don't know. But yeah, no, I recognize that place now. Okay, so we're at the main road. Obviously, the most detail work has gone into this area, at least at the time of this footage being created. This footage is definitely not recent. This footage is definitely not recent. I can tell. This early development footage doesn't mean the game is early in development. Early development footage means this footage was shot at early in development. And I think they're doing that because they felt like they had to show something and they couldn't scramble to get a trailer fast enough, so they just threw out something they already had for internal use. We have a puddle on the water. We have a puddle on the street that may or may not stay there for the whole year. That'd be kind of funny, actually. I mean, to be fair, it's a game with an aesthetic built around the rain and the rain dropping. So, like, I would hope the day after the heavy rain showers, you look around and it's like there's puddles. There's more puddles in different spots. I would hope day by day, there's different puddles in different places. Maybe the puddles are there some days. Maybe they've dried up after a week. You know, stuff like that. You know, like they can do a lot of stuff with that. With just the aesthetics of that. If they don't necessarily rejigger the puddles every day, am I gonna call them lazy. No, because that's fucking stupid. But I'm just thinking of ideas. Little touches. You can't get mad at the absence of little touches, but you can get happy about them. You know? Because little touches are hard to do in games, which is why you can't get upset at their absence. But it's why you should get very happy when you see them. Right? If they didn't model the puddle perfectly, who cares? If they did, I care. Because that means there was an attention to detail that was not lost. But if there wasn't an attention to detail on certain things, I just go, games are hard. It's fine. Especially these days. But yeah, looking at the sky, like, it does kind of look like you can make out more of the town behind this area now. Like, it's a little more defined. Like, I could see the mountain or the hill, I guess, like around here, right? Here-ish, something like that. I hope you can see my mouse. Maybe you can't. Can you see my mouse, actually? It's a good question. Can you see my mouse? I don't think you can see my mouse. Okay, sorry about that. Never mind. Okay, well, I'm fucked. Here I am thinking that I'm pointing at things, and I'm not, actually. Whoopsie. Oh well. Well, the sort of hill near the middle pylon, right? Like that area. I don't know if I ever fully recognized what was there. There is one boss where you see the town from a bird's eye view, which is pretty cool, but I don't know if I internalized that too much, you know? But yeah, so yeah, I mean, this is a great look at that street. I mean, obviously we'll be able to go into this shop. I wonder if it'll be a thing where it's seamless. Am I going to walk up to this? Am I going to walk up to the shop on the left of the bike, which is the ramen place, right? Are you going to walk up there? Is it going to loading screen transition, or is it going to be like, no transition? Frankly, for a PS5 Series X only game, yeah, like, I would not be shocked if there's no loading transitions. I wouldn't be shocked if there is no transition between these scenes. That would be neat. They don't have to do that, but like I said, attention to detail and features like that, cool. But if they feel like the structure of the game being more stringent on like load zones is actually kind of part of the design, then fair enough. I won't knock that, but still. Okay, now we can see a little further out. I don't really know how much there is to really examine here versus the other shot. It is nice to see Kanji's mom's confectionery shop. Is it a confectionery shop? I don't think confectionery is the word I'm looking for. Textile shop. Yeah. That place looks really nice. Kanji's just sitting up there right now. These characters with non PS2 proportions. It's going to be interesting. Kanji with regular ass legs. It's going to be interesting. Instead of his really weird long stubby ones. Okay, so you can see the... Oh, that's the house. That's Dojima's house. There you go. Can I make out a certain detail in that shot? Hold on. I think it zoomed in slightly. Okay. Gonna put on my tinfoil hat for a second. I can kind of see the garden. The garden is a golden feature. I think the garden is there. I'm not 100%, because, like that little green on the side is what I'm mainly looking at. And that could just be like a hedge. I need to see a picture of Dojima's house. Hold on. Persona 4 Golden Garden. I want to get a screenshot. Get an image of that somewhere. Can I get a wide shot of the side that shows me that it's there? The house actually looks a little more different than I thought. Like, it's still recognizably the house, but the side is a little different. Like the gate wall is a little higher. I wish I could get a better angle. Dojima Residence has already been updated with. Wait a second, hold on. Go forward a second. Did they actually? Is there another shot of it? No, there isn't. Let it go for a second. I just want to see. No, there's no second shot of it. No, there's no second shot. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let me see. Gotcha. So I need like a wider shot. Golden Dojima house. Dojima house. I'll throw this up if I find a suitable image. No, get off my screen with your terms and conditions. It's kind of tricky to say, honestly. Dojima Residence exterior. Okay, I've got a shot that I think can help. Okay. I can now definitively say that what I'm seeing, the green, that's not the garden. That's a shrub that's always been there. Okay. So the shrub, that shrub has always been there. However, let me now get exterior garden. I want to see what it looks like from the side once it's actually built out. I could see a screenshot of what it looks like there. It looks like there's a shed there. No, that's not a shed. That's another house. That's kind of hard to tell, actually. It's actually a little hard to tell if the house is there. Or if the garden's there. Damn. Yeah, it's tricky. Okay. Well, at least I've ruled out that the green hedge I'm seeing is the garden. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to tell with the gate there. But okay. Anything else on these TVs? Okay, so we have actually walking through. Can I actually let me take this real slow for a minute. I'm gonna bring that sound right off while we do this. Anything we can catch as we're moving through. Not a whole lot there. We flash to here, yeah, of course. The shrine where the fox hangs out. Nothing I'm seeing. This definitely has some hire this man energy. But also, again, I do truly think this is a interior vertical slice. I don't think this is how early the game is right now. You can see there's not a whole lot to examine that I'm noticing that's like different. Hey, there's a garden there. Was that always there? Come to think of it, the camera angle usually didn't let you see that side of the road. So they have to build out what's on the outside of the road now. Like, can we go to the right there? Although I guess it would be his left, but like, could you go? Can you turn that direction now? Do you have full camera control? Is there other things there to see? Who knows? Probably not. You're talking about a very different game when you're talking about expanding it out that much. But like, I don't know. So, yeah, not a whole lot to see there. And then I'll just go ahead and put this back to normal sound. And I don't really think there's anything else to examine at that point. Other than the fact that he's got his old running animation, I guess. Wait, 1 second. Am I crazy? Did I just see something? TM. I didn't catch the TM before. Sony Interactive. It does actually say Steam. It's kind of funny. Aren't I watching the Atlas account right now, and yet all this stuff down here is like all about PlayStation? There's nothing about Xbox in these in the like disclaimers at the bottom at all. That's kind of crazy. But well, I mean, I guess. Okay, well, that's Persona 4 rerun or revival, as I'll have to start getting used to calling it. Who knows how long it'll be until we see anything related to that again. I'm going to quickly, before we kill this stream, and I will come back later for some Yakuza, but I do need to check on some things. But I'm going to go ahead and just quickly go to the Persona feed, as well as the Persona Central feed, just in case anything else has popped up before we go. In case there's anything else to mention that's current. So I'm going to go to Atlas West Twitter real quick. Nothing. Nothing new there. Okay. And then I want to get Persona Central. Probably nothing new, if I had to guess. But you never know. Let's see. Has the original article been updated? With anything? No. No. So here's the thing. Here's another relevant part of this that I think is worth mentioning. When Atlas is ready to reveal a game, they will tend to put the domain into service properly about 6 weeks in advance, 6 to 8 weeks. I might have the exact amount of weeks wrong. But then it always follows with the reveal like that many weeks later, like every time. Like they're very consistent about it. It doesn't always equate to a release date being that close. I would not be surprised. I guess this would be my final note then. Again, I think this was an internal vertical slice video, and that's why it didn't have a date on it. I think they had to throw it together very quickly as far as throwing some logos on it at the end because the voice actors didn't shut up. And because they didn't shut up, they had to just go, right? So I think they had to drop this. I think next time we see it, might be sooner than we think. And I think it'll probably look a lot more... It's going to look a lot better than this, because I don't think it'll be nearly as early. And I think that... I not only think it's going to look a lot better than this, I also think that the game is going to probably be out a little sooner than we think. I think they just literally weren't ready to announce it. And then the voice actors kind of fucked that up. So they had to at least announce it. But I don't think this thing is that far off. Anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not as close as Reload was when they did this in the exact same way. But I don't think it's as far off as you think. I wouldn't be surprised if it made it by next summer. But also, they could have attached a year to that trailer. But also, if this is in fact a vertical slice trailer and it was made for internal staff years ago, like I'm suspecting, then redoing the trailer would take more time than just dropping it. Being like, there it is, fuck. Fine, there. Shit. Stop asking. Right? So I kind of think that'll probably translate to the next trailer being a little more showy. So who knows when they'll show it next? Maybe this is actually far off. Who knows? Maybe they are. I can pretty easily accept that they were cooking it before Reload even dropped. I can pretty easily accept that if you told me that. Their dev timelines tend to work like that. Also, Japan can still ship games. Unlike the West now. So, yes, I kind of do think that this thing is probably still closer. Is it possibly 27? Maybe. But I kind of don't think I'd put it past being 26 just yet. The next time we see it, which could be at Gamescom, could be next week, could be next month, could be at anything, I suspect we'll get a much clearer idea. Could be at Anime Expo, to be honest. They revealed a lot of stuff about Reload at Anime Expo. So, they might just do that there. So, next time we see it, I imagine. Let me put it this way: I think the game's going to look very different because I think we just saw footage that's years old. I genuinely think that. And B, or sorry, 2. I always fuck that up. I think if there's a date or a year attached to that next trailer, then I was right. Even if it doesn't say a firm release date yet, right? I will claim that crown. Now, will I lock it down for it's going to make February to March, like Reload did? No, not at this point. It could still. They could actually blow me away with that. Fuck, Capcom basically just did that with RE9. Although, to be honest, RE9 is coming out there. Also, there is another elephant in the room, which is there is a video game that's going to come out next year that no matter when it comes out, everything around it will die in every genre. And that's GTA 6. So there could also be an element of this where Atlas is like, let's make sure we know when they're dropping before we drop this, because this is a big deal for the company. And every studio on the planet is trying to give GTA 6 a wide berth right now, for good reason. It doesn't matter what genre you are in, what kind of game you are, you will not counter-program GTA 6 is GTA 6. It will swallow you whole. It doesn't matter. It is that kind of release. You can release literally anything. You cannot counter-program for it. It will die. You will be swallowed whole. Get out of the way. So if they're thinking summer, and GTA 6 is currently releasing in May, assuming it doesn't get delayed again, which it might. I would, if Atlas is thinking anywhere close to summer, I would also be a little scared. So I would also hold that date in. So be sure you're either launching in the March to February span, or maybe give it till the fall. I don't know. Whatever works. I think that's about it for me. Let's roll this one more time for the sake of it. And then I'm going to go stretch my legs, get a few things done, and then we'll do some Yakuza. The fact that they're using the original version of Pandemic History also tells me that, like, this is an internal trailer. Like, this was not meant for, this probably was never meant for us to be seen. This is probably the voice actors didn't shut the fuck up. Oh God. Okay, well, we need to announce something. What about that video we showed to the voice actors whenever we showed them what they were working on, or like to staff to let, or like Sega heads to let them know what we're doing, right? What about that video? What about that video we made that's just ready to go, that we just show, that's internal? What if we just slap some logos on that and call it a day? Because now we have less than a week to figure out what we're doing. It feels like that. That's what it feels like to me. So I think listen, I don't believe that they haven't started making music yet. I do not believe there is a world where they are at the English voice acting stage, but they have not recorded any of the new music. That's just wrong. That's not true. That will never be true. They will never work like that. That is one of the first things they do, usually. So if they had a new version of Time to Make History, it would be in this. Unless it was a pre-release video made for internal use that they had to then drop. That's what makes sense to me. There's too many signs that point to that right now for me to believe anything else. If I'm wrong later, then I am wrong. And then I said a bunch of shit for nothing. But hey. All right. Well, we did in fact get a revival today. And these fellers are coming back at some point. Who knows when? Who knows when we'll see them again? I will tell you right now. I don't know how soon we'll be playing this on the channel. We will be though. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Wait, what? This playlist that I've been using for months doesn't have that track? Oh, I need to make my own damn playlist. 1 second. Because there's only one track to play this stream out on. There's only one track to play this stream out on. Ah, shit. What's the track called? What is it called? Eh, fine. Persona 4. Just give me that soundtrack. Albums. There you go. Okay, where is it? Where's the one I want? Oh, wait, that's just the golden soundtrack. I need the actual soundtrack. There we go. Where is it? Oh, no. Oh, because it is a Japanese name. That's why. But I'm pretty sure it's this one. No, it's not. Shit. Fuck. This one? No. Damn it. Which one is it? This one? That's it. It's the same one. No. What is it then? What's the name of it? No. Oh, wait, this is it. There we go. Ugh. I should know that kanji anywhere. I've played it so many times. All right. There's only one P4 track I can play this out on. So yeah, that was a hyper detailed examination of how I think and currently feel about Persona 4 Revival. Looks great. I don't think that that's current footage. I think that's years old footage. I think they're way farther than that. I think the game's sooner than you think. Probably not as soon as Reload was from now, but I don't think it's far off. I think if anything, they're waiting to find out when GTA 6 is dropping so they can steer clear of that. Because it doesn't matter what your game is, it will get swallowed by that. You can't counter-program for that. It will die. Get away from the swirling vortex. Anyway, I will be back later in the day, probably not terribly long, for some more Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. Does that fucking look like my end screen? Jesus. Jesus, OBS. Okay, let's fix that. Yeah, get back to work, OBS. Jesus. Anyways, God, so rude. Thank you very much. That was, I think, our last show of the Summer Game Fest, whatever you want to call it. We're done. Thank you very much for tuning in to Percentage Chance. I will be back later today. Like I said, more Yakuza. See you later. I talked a lot about it, okay? It's my favorite series. I'll earn my playthroughs of those on the channel at some point once all my equipment's settled. See you soon. Bye-bye. Oh shit, wait. I just realized something. Oh, there's a better way to do this. Hold on. Wait. There's a better way to play this out. There's a much better way to play this out. There is only one track, and I'm still correct about it. Where is it? 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 There it is. Yeah, I know. You're like, but we were just, no. This is the one. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in to Percentage Chance. I will see y'all soon enough today. Oh, I was so right.